You've almost certainly heard of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, right? I mean, it's one of the biggest success books of all time. But what if you took all that amazing, timeless wisdom and gave it a fresh spin, specifically for the women of today? Well, that's precisely the mission author Sharon Lechter took on.
And get this, she was actually authorized by the Napoleon Hill Foundation to do it. So this isn't some random knockoff. Lecter didn't just, update a few words here and there. No, she completely reimagined the core principles, creating a powerful new roadmap for women who are ready to thrive in business and in life.
So that really begs the question, right? Why was this even necessary? I mean, the world today is a totally different place than it was back in Napoleon Hill's day. So what are the unique challenges and honestly, the unique strengths that modern women have that made this new take so essential?
Okay, so let's talk about the why behind this because the context is massive. Women are becoming an absolute economic powerhouse. I'm talking projections that they'll control something like 2/3 of consumer wealth in the US within the next decade. So this book isn't just some nice idea, it's a direct answer to this incredible shift in power.
But it's not just about the opportunities. It's also about tackling the modern hurdles head on. Lecter dives into stuff the original book just couldn't have, like that constant, crushing pressure to have the perfect work-life balance, which, by the way, she calls a total illusion, and that little voice of guilt that can creep in when you're really going after your ambitions.
So, where do you even start on a journey like this? Well, it's not with a fancy business plan or a big loan from the bank. Nope, it all starts right up here, inside your own head. The whole philosophy is built on this idea. Every single great achievement begins with a particular state of mind.
And the absolute starting point, the spark for the whole engine, is what the book calls a burning desire. And let's be clear, we're not talking about it that would be nice kind of wish. This is an all-consuming, gotta-have-it passion. It's basically an obsession that becomes the driving force behind everything you do. It's the fuel for the entire journey.
Okay, but a burning desire is one thing. How do you actually make it happen? Because a desire without a plan is just, well, a daydream. So the book gives you 6 super concrete steps to turn that fire into a real-world result. And this is more than just setting a goal. It's like making a contract with yourself. You define exactly what you want, what you're willing to give for it, and then you read it every single day. You're literally reprogramming your own mind for success.
Now you know as well as I do that when you have a big goal, you're going to hit roadblocks. It's inevitable. That's why your burning desire needs a partner. And that partner is faith. We're not talking about blind hope here. This is a deep, unshakable belief that you will get there, even when everything seems to be going wrong. As Napoleon Hill himself said, it's the only known antidote for failure.
All right, so you've got your burning desire, you've got your unwavering faith. That's your foundation. Now it's time to build the actual blueprint. This is that critical moment where the vision in your head starts to become a real, tangible plan you can act on.
The first piece of that blueprint is getting the right kind of knowledge. See, knowing a little bit about everything, that's general knowledge. It's great for trivia night, but it's not what builds fortunes. What you need is specialized knowledge. That means becoming a true expert in one specific thing that solves a real problem for people. That's where the value is. Next up, you take that specialized knowledge and you fire up your imagination. The book talks about 2 kinds. First, there's synthetic imagination. Think of it like rearranging existing ideas into something new, like building with Legos you already have. But then, there's creative imagination. That's where the real lightning strikes. It's where brand new, groundbreaking ideas seem to come from. Like how J.K. Rowling said the entire idea for Harry Potter just flooded into her mind on a train. That's creative imagination in action.
Look, a brilliant idea is pretty much worthless if you don't have a plan to make it real. So the next step is organized planning. This starts with your vision, but then, and this is key, you assemble what the book calls a mastermind team. This is your personal board of directors, people who support you, but also challenge you to be better. Then you work together to build a real strategy with definite plans, all guided by collaborative leadership. But let's be real. Even the most perfect plan is going to hit a snag. Obstacles are a guarantee. So, what's the one thing that separates the people who make it from those who don't? It all comes down to what you do when you get knocked down. The answer is simple but not easy. You persist.
And the book gives this incredible example. A woman named Michelle Patterson took over the California Women's Conference and was staring down a projected loss of almost $2 million. Everything and everyone was telling her to just cut her losses and quit. But she didn't.
She refused to give up, she rallied support, and she turned the whole thing around into a massive success. Now that is persistence. This quote from the legendary Estee Lauder just says it all perfectly. Persistence isn't some magical feeling of being strong all the time. It's about that moment when you think you can't go on, and you force yourself to take one more step anyway. But what is it that stops most people from doing that?
Well, according to the book, it boils down to 6 major fears.
They're called the 6 ghosts of fear, and they're the things that haunt our biggest dreams. We're talking about the fear of poverty, the fear of what other people will say, fear of getting sick, fear of losing love, getting old, and of course, death. The book says the only way to beat them is to consciously replace that fear with faith, to take control of your thoughts and basically starve these ghosts until they have zero power over you.
And all of this leads to what might be one of the most powerful and truly modern ideas in this version of the book. It's a concept that goes way beyond just making money and speaks directly to a struggle so many women face every single day.
Yeah, this question, is work-life balance even real? It's the thing that keeps so many of us up at night, right? That constant juggling act, feeling like you're failing a little bit everywhere. But what if the real problem isn't your inability to find balance? What if the problem is the idea of balance itself?
See, Lechter argues that chasing this idea of balance is actually a trap. The goal shouldn't be to create 2 separate, perfectly balanced lives, your work life over here and your home life over there. The goal is to integrate everything into one whole life, where the choices you make aren't sacrifices, but investments in that one big life.
It's such a simple shift, but it changes everything. It's not about cutting yourself in half. It's about finding the courage to just be one whole, authentic person in every part of your one amazing life.
So, we want to leave you with this final thought. After hearing about this whole framework, the real question isn't just if you have a burning desire, it's what is it? And maybe even more importantly, what's your plan? Your definite plan to make it happen.